Hey friends, welcome back. In part 24, we created AdSpend Data API and tested it in Postman. In this part, we're going to walk through our GetSpend Data API, where we give users the ability to view their spending records with flexible filters like view spending from this month, or the last 3 months, or all spending data till today. Alright, let's dive right into it. Here we are importing necessary modules. Spend data is our SQLize model that maps to the spend data table in the database. And OP is SQLize operators module. It gives us access to things like op.gta, which means greater than or equal to, and op.lta, which means less than or equal to. Next, at the top of this getSpendData function, we extract two values from the query parameter. First is filter parameter, which tells us what kind of data the user wants, like month, 3 months, or all. And second, this user ID is just passed here for the auth middleware to validate the token. We don't use it inside the query. Next, we initialize an empty object called whereClause. This object will be passed into SQLize's query to filter data by date. This filter by month first condition will return all spending records from the start of this month until now. Next condition will give us everything from the past 3 months, including this one. This is super handy for quarterly overviews. And this filter by all, third condition has no date restrictions. This will return all data until the current moment. Whether you're auditing past records or analyzing lifetime expenses, this gives you the full picture. If the user sends something like filter is equal to last week, we will return a clear 400 bad request with a message. User-friendly error messaging is always a priority. Now that our whereClause is ready, we use SQLize findAll function method to fetch the records. And finally, if everything goes well, we return it with a success message, spend data retrieved successfully. As always, we will wrap everything in a try-catch block to catch any unexpected issues, whether it's DB failure or something else. Let's add root for this API in dashboard-routes.js. Don't forget, this root is protected by the Authenticate User middleware. So only authenticated users with a valid JWT token and a matching user ID can access this API. Now let's start testing it out inside Postman and see our filtered data in action. Here I have already added the request for the GetSpend Data API, including the JWT token in the headers tab and the required parameters in the params tab. Let's test it. Here we have got our expected response. Now we will create fetchSpendData function in our React app. This is a crucial part of our application for retrieving spending data with flexible filters in the front end. Let's dive into how this function operates and ensures secure and efficient data retrieval. Firstly, to maintain security and ensure authenticated access, we will employ two utility functions introduced in part 23. First is checkToken and user function, and second is checkToken expiry function. These functions verify the validity of the JWT token and handle user authentication. Once authenticated, we extract the user information using getToken and user function. Next, fetching necessary authentication headers with getAuth headers function to ensure secure communication with our backend. Moving on to the core functionality, our function makes use of Axios to perform a GET request to our API endpoint getSpendData. Here we pass parameters, such as filter and user ID, to specify the type of spending data and the user ID for validation, respectively. The filter parameter allows users to specify whether they want data for the current month, the last 3 months, or all data until the present. This flexibility empowers users with comprehensive insights into their spending habits. Upon successful retrieval, the function logs the fetched data and returns it for further processing within the application. In case of any errors during data retrieval, our function is designed to catch exceptions using a try-catch block. If the error is related to unauthorized access status code 401, we gracefully handle session expiration with handle session expired function. Now we have connected our fetchSpendData function in the front end to securely retrieve filtered spending data. Let's enhance our spend analysis chart component so it will not stay just static but dynamic and filterable. We hardcoded this component in part 7, check that out for reference. Very first thing, the component now takes in 2 props, spendData and setFilter. This allows us to feed real backend data directly into the chart, making it dynamic and responsive to user input. Next, we have added a reduce function to group the data by category and sum up all the amounts. So, for example, if there were 3 entries under marketing, we will add up all the spend values into one. This gives us a clean breakdown by category. Inside this reduce function, we are accessing the category of the current spending record. Next, we are taking the amount spent field and converting it from a string to a number using parsefloat. Then we are checking if we have already encountered this category before in our accumulator object. If we have, that means we already started adding amounts to it. If the category exists, we just add the current amount to the existing total. And if this is the first time we have seen this category, we just initialize it with the current amount. After updating the accumulator, we return it so it can be passed to the next item in the array. At the end of reduce function, we get a new object called aggregated data that holds the total spend per category, all ready to be visualized in a chart. Once aggregated, we extract the keys as labels and the values as the actual data points for our chart. These get plugged right into the chart config. We have also added clean styling for a polished look, rounded borders, shadows, and padding to give it that elegant dashboard feel. Next, we are adding a drop-down in the top right corner with options for this month, last 3 months, all time. When the user changes the filter, we call the setFilter function, which triggers a new API call to fetch updated data from the backend. We have improved the donut styling too, putting it at the bottom and giving it bold, purple labels for better readability. Okay, now we will make some simple but powerful updates to our dashboard.js file, so that we can actually display the dynamic spend analysis chart with real-time data fetched from the backend. First, we will start by importing a new API function, fetchSpendData, right at the top. Then we introduce 2 new pieces of state. First, spend data, which stores the actual spend data returned from the API. Second, filter, which allows users to select the time range like this month, last 3 months, or all time. We have set its default value to month. Then inside our use effect, we have an async fetch data function that now does two things. Firstly, it still fetches our transactions as before. Second, it also makes a call to fetch spend data function along with filter param and sets the result to spend data. And here's the cool part. We have added filter as a dependency to the use effect, so that, whenever the user changes the dropdown inside our spend analysis chart, this hook will automatically refetch updated data for the selected time range. Now onto the JSX side, down in the charts section, we have updated the spend analysis chart component call. Instead of rendering it plain like before, we now pass two props. First, spend data, which holds our filtered records. Second, set filter, which allows the chart component to update the filter dynamically. This creates a perfect two-way sync between the dropdown inside the chart and our backend data. Let's give it a run and check it out inside the browser. And that's it. These few small additions make our dashboard fully connected to the real-time spend analysis engine. Whether users want to analyze just this month's spending or all their historical records, it's now possible, beautifully visualized, and instantly responsive.